Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. Today we're going to do a very special video. I've never done one like this, but I felt like I absolutely had to do it. I was going to just make a tweet or like a message or something like that about it, but there was too many people that I had in mind that I wanted to get this message across, and I decided to make a video about it. Um, the video was basically inspired because I was going through a video that it's not out yet. It's coming out this Sunday about the history of Age of Empires 2. Right, and I teamed up with Doubt, 2 hour basic documentary, very, very, very nice video, very, very solid video. And like as we were recording it, we are just talking, right? Me and Dad are chilling. Nothing much happened. We're just chilling and bringing the facts to the table. But then as my editor compiled it all into a video and made it just this amazing, like just 2 hour piece, 2 hour like basically documentary about Age of Empires, I started to see it really come together as a storyline, and it's really, really impressive and kind of an insane story that Age of Empires 2 has. And so many different people played a role and a part in that story. And I feel like they just don't get enough recognition, or like, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but I feel like people, especially myself, don't realize how insane what Age of Empires 2 and what the community has accomplished is. And everybody played a role in it. And this video, I really can't thank everyone. All right, I could say a big thank you to everyone, and that's it. But I decided I think the community deserves more than that. So I'm gonna do a dedicated video where I go through some of my best memories and really just thank the people that played a role in keeping Age of Empires 2 alive to this day, and thank them personally from me, um, how they impacted my life, and and just some special moments that I shared with them. Obviously, it's an emotional video, and usually you do this kind of thing when someone left or someone retired or whatnot. But I feel like why wait until that moment? Obviously time will change. 5-10 years, who knows what AV2 will look like, but right now I feel like it's a good time to do it. And I was really inspired. Again, I know it sounds stupid, a video I made that inspired me, but I'm telling you, I just made like, I just, me and Dallas just made the video and just talked about it, but my editor brought it all together. And that is really where the story it just feels so, yeah, incredible. This video has no structure. It's just me talking. But yeah, I'd like to give a thank you to a bunch of the different community members that have just contributed so heavily towards Age of Empires 2 success to this day. And I have no place that I know where to start, and I in fact hope that I get to everyone. I'm doing this one take because I want it to be natural. And in the background, I just have my setup. I wanted to full screen my cam, but it looks weird. I don't want to be too big on the screen, so I got the Age of Empires 2 background set up there, which is nice to look at. But yeah, I just want to start firstly by thanking the players. The players that play this game, AV2, the people who stuck with this game over any other game over all these years, right? When I first came to the scene, I was coming in pretty late, like 2012, 2013, and I came into it, and had there been no online players, there's nothing to come into. But the online players, the players that stuck with this game for so long, I think they deserve a huge shout out for keeping the game alive. Remember, the player base is absolutely key, and all the amazing players that we have, even from the start of the game till now, you guys were probably the driving force. And I say you guys, we're all included really in this. We're the driving force of keeping the game alive. But I guess more personally, I want to give a shout out to Zero Empires, the YouTuber who actually brought me into the game. I was playing single player, and I got into the game by finding one of his videos. And I've told this story before. I found one of his videos and got hooked. It was actually a campaign tutorial. I got hooked onto the online. I started hearing all the players, the top players' names, and it was just honestly incredible to see just this game that I played single player, played with my brothers, being so alive. Competitive scene, so many different players, played at the highest level, people watching it. It was just like, this is me, 13 years old me of 11 years ago now. That was just like such an yeah, such an epic feeling. I still remember how excited I was to just hop in and play my first ranked game. Um, yeah, so that's honestly kind of like the starting point of where I am. But since then, we've had so many important figures in this game, some behind the scenes and some, on the forefront of the scenes. I want to first start out by shouting out the people behind the scenes, the Forgotten Empires team. Those guys are absolute legends. I mean, the people who worked on user patch on Voobly to bring, to update the game, balance change, and not necessarily balance changes, but pathing updates, little quality of life fixes. Those were huge. Forgotten Empires team that actually, started out as a hobby project, brought in like some new civilization, Magyar, Slavs, all the good stuff that eventually became a part of the HD edition officially. It started as a hobby project. That is crazy. Cision and the Forgotten Empire team. There's such an important role that they played in Age of Empires 2. And big shout out to them, honestly, for all the work that they've done in keeping the game alive and actually giving it like a breath of revival almost. That obviously Microsoft hops onto, which, big shout out to Microsoft as well for recognizing that there's something there. It's so easy, I feel like, for them to just ignore it. Like the amount of work that Microsoft had to put in to actually bring the game back is probably enormous. So whoever played a role in that, this is even like, I don't really know who exactly it is, individually up in Microsoft, but whoever played a role in that, like, huge thank you. We wouldn't have this game today, Definitive Edition, if not for those guys. So they played a huge role in it. Everyone who played a role on Voobly to make it the best game possible, to then bring back Microsoft. It was just such an insane accomplishment. If you look back, like, seriously, like, that is such an insane accomplishment. And I don't think people like realize just the magnitude of what actually happened there. But then going on to like the content creators, right? And this is where I start to get a bit more personal because I interact with these people very often. But guys like T90. I'm gonna start with the tournament host first. Guys like T90, Dave, Mem, Nilly. I think those four especially, and a lot of other caster content creators. You guys are honestly just incredible for the game as well. We'll start with T90. Number one, making all those like beginner friendly videos on YouTube, that things that attract people that knew about the game but didn't play it. I think T90 played an incredible role in bringing in so many players that just didn't know there was an online scene, old school AoE2 players. Then he brought us Hidden Cup, which is just such an incredible tournament that hit basically like record numbers on every single edition. Was a very unique concept as well. I honestly think that the role of T90 played and is playing till today is immense for the AoE2 scene. So huge thank you to T90 for the contributions that he's done, pushing the game forward, and again, it's breathing life into the game when it was not always as active as it is today. Then we got Memb. Memb, I don't think people realize the amount that Mem has done for the game. I mean, he is an absolute veteran. He's been at this for 10, 12 years now, always bringing in the highest quality casts, playing the game himself, really being like putting his passion into it. Like when you see a guy like Mem, who's been bringing this level of energy for so long, that is, just an amazing guy to have still, up there, still doing big things for the game and being one of the faces of Age of Empires 2, especially in the tournament hosting scene. And Mem especially brought us really, really good tournaments. Like KOTD, the first one came at a really important time where the game was starting to get its revival. Not that it was dead before, but it was starting to pick up momentum. A keyword, momentum, I know it's Mem. And then bam, KOTD comes in. That was just such an amazing time to bring in a 1v1 Arabia tournament, featuring all the new civs that we've been getting. And I actually didn't take part in KOTD 1, but I did take part in KOTD 2 onwards. And I can just say that it was probably one of my most anticipated tournaments, especially the first couple editions, because that was the first time where I can really, give a crack at a tournament. 1v1 Arabia, this is what I knew, this is what I played. And I'm sure that I wasn't the only player that felt that. So I think I speak on behalf of everyone when we say, like, Mem, thank you for the 10 to 12, 15, how many years of hard work you put in to the scene, and even to this day, bringing in top tier tournaments. Yeah, it's we appreciate you. Like, seriously, we appreciate you. And if you look back to like the old KOTD 1 videos, they're still like watchable today. Like it was still such a good tournament, you know. Maybe even better in some aspects, like the maps being more aggro. I don't know, maybe it's the nostalgia speaking because I did watch that. I watched it back. But there was just still some epic, like the Leary Viper rivalry, still some epic moments to go back and live. And I think Mem brought us so much. He also brought us the Battle of Africa tournaments, which is like basically the only team game tournaments top tier that's, aside from Nations Cup that we have, which I think were a pretty important part of Age of Empires too, especially in recent years. So yeah, Mem's been absolutely crucial. And little personal notes, he used to have a phrase, still has it, Hans or Hans. And I remember the first time I met him at ECL LAN, I went up to him and was like, yo, Mem. Like, I'm gonna record this, say the phrase. And he hit me with Hans or Hans. And it was just a nice moment, a nice first time I saw Mem to share that with him. And one other thing, last thing about Mem, is that when I was really like not really well known besides just a player, I didn't stream or anything like that, he would actually bring me up to cast with him, and he would set me up on a mic, we'd cast together, have a good time. This is from way back in the day before I even had a stream or anything like that set up. So I feel like he was one of the guys that really gave me a chance early on. And I didn't bring much to the table, but I hope I brought something. He also gave me like some interviews and stuff, so Mem gave me a lot of screen time. So from a personal note, I did really appreciate him for that. Then we got Nilly. I'll leave Dave for last, but not least, of course. We got Nilly here. Nilly, I know he's somewhat retired now, but he's coming back. He actually just announced that he's working with Microsoft again, which I'm a really big fan of. We'll circle back to that. He brought us NAC 1-5, amongst other things. He's done a lot for the community. He's been active in AB2 for a real long time. But he brought us NAC 1-5, which for me personally, I can say that is my favorite tournament. Like from now, that is my favorite tournament. It's close with Red Bulls because LAN events for me are like really special. Grand Melee is also very special. But NAC, especially the last 2 LAN events that we had, and even the last 3 LAN events, very special tournament. I can say definitely my favorite tournament series that we've had. Obviously, it's coming to a close now. Maybe the door's still open. Maybe the back door's still open. Who knows? But nonetheless, Nilly, we all appreciate the work you've done. And just as a personal note, a little behind the scenes, the attention and care that Nilly gave to players, in my opinion, unmatched. When I went to an NAC, especially the first one, it was basically my first time traveling, my second time traveling, but like a 1v1 tournament, my first ever. I just felt so welcomed. He explained all, the rules, explained the vibe, sought our feedback at every turn. I felt like he listened. I felt like anything I needed, he was the guy I can count on. Every single time he hosted one, it got better as well. And I don't know, when I just think of Nilly, I think of a guy who's, he's going to give it honest. Whatever you need, he's going to give it honest. And he's going to do his best if you need something from him. And that was just, that was just the vibe I got from throughout all my experience in dealing with them. So yeah, big shout out to Nilly for all he's done. And just to show you guys how good he was to the players and to everyone at NEC, he brought in like NEC4. I remember he brought in like so many nice sweets, just out on the table for everyone. And I walked in, I was like, I was just grabbing everything. And then as I walked out of the kitchen, I saw Nilly. I was like, Nilly, listen, I promise I'm gonna start dieting as soon as NEC's over. But I can't do it right now. I can't watch what I'm eating right now. It's all too good. I'm gonna just take what I have and we'll deal with it later. That just it just goes to show just how hospitable he was and how nice the environment was for players. Not just the food, but obviously everything else. But the food was nice. But anyway, moving on to Dave. I think Dave played such an amazing role, kind of on the down low for a long time. He was actually, what's funny is that he was known as the guy who cast with T90. But I think what was incredible at Dave is that he started from that position. And then he started his own thing and now built his own channel on Twitch and on YouTube. And now people go specifically to see Dave, which is honestly just an amazing accomplishment in of itself. A lot of people, would just be happy just riding it. And then, they're just known as the guy with T90, but which is not bad, by the way. Like T90 Dave were a power duo casting for a long time. And Dave was pulling in a lot of hours even before streaming just with T90. Obviously, I don't know much about behind the scenes there, but they were killing it. I remember watching them in Hidden Cup, 1 through 5, all of them pretty much. and they were an amazing casting duo. Still are to this day. But Dave being able to start his own thing, put in more work, put in more investment towards the AV2 scene, and is now doing it full time, and even brought us a couple tournaments, Nomad ones, very fun events. Yeah, I think that was spectacular, and I can honestly say to this day, like today, Dave is honestly one of my favorite casters. Like I go to his channel whenever he's casting, see what's up, maybe type a few things in the chat. It's honestly just a fun time and a good vibe from Dave. I've also met him at a few LAN events. Super nice guy, really chill, really easygoing. Honestly, nothing bad to say about a guy like Dave, and I really appreciate having him around. Also, he's from Canada, so a little bit of bias there, but my cat's playing with something. That's fine. He's from Canada, there's a little bit of bias there, but no, it's been honestly great having Dave around. But yeah, big thank you to those 4 main casters and tournament hosts. But again, you can't forget everyone else, guys like Ornlu. You can throw in guys like Killer B from a little bit back in the day. He's gone now. Well, at least from AV2 scene, but he did pretty good work. And everyone else who's just casting and putting in effort into the AV2 scene with whatever, hosting tournaments, hosting things like that. Big thank you to all of them. I also want to take the time on this note to thank the Chinese community, which does not get enough love at all. And I don't know much about the Chinese community aside from like what I hear from Yo and maybe Vivi. But the Chinese community has been such a driving force over the years, hosting multiple Nations Cup, hosting multiple show matches. Even to this day, Yo can just pull me together and say, yo, Hera, we got a show match, this settings, and it's always a lot of fun. They always pull through. And I just feel like they never get any recognition, or like they get some, but we gotta say it how it is. Big thank you to the Chinese community for all that they've done for AV2 over the years. They even hosted LAN events in China. Again, in the history video that I did with Doubts, AV2's history, you'll see just how much they brought to the table. They basically carried the team game scene for a long time as well. So yeah, the Chinese community just did so much for Age of Empires. Like honestly, an incredible amount that they put in, and thank you guys. Honestly, we can't interact too much just because we're not on the same platforms. Oftentimes they're streaming on other platforms. The viewers are on other platforms, but let's take this opportunity to recognize just how much they've done for the scene. And yeah, I can speak from my experience. Guys like Yo, guys like Vivi, they breathe a lot of life into the game. And Yo's honestly one of my favorite guys to hang out with at LAN events. So he's a close friend of mine. I'm not gonna lie, close friend of mine. But yeah, big shout out to those guys for hosting event after event over the last like basically 10-15 years. They've been a pivotal role. They played a pivotal role in Age of Empires 2 community. Then I want to thank some players. I know we started with those, but some top players who also took the time to become content creators. And I'll start with specifically Viper and MBL from a personal note, because those 2 guys got me back into the game when I had quit a couple times. I just moved on to play League of Legends and do other things. I was in high school. I was playing with my friends played. But I came back because I saw Viper stream. He was playing with new civilizations. He was doing all these crazy things. And I was like, yo, this is sick. I want to get back in and start playing these guys again. And then I saw MBL stream, and he was also doing the same thing. And I said, what's up in his chat? And he was like, oh, Hera, it's been a long time. Like, are you playing? What's up? And I ended up coming back into the game because of guys like Viper and MBL. It took the time, not only great players, but also great content creators. That is insane. Like that is honestly, for me personally, a great way to pull me back into the game. And I'm glad I came back. To be honest, I'm glad I came back. But it's also a good time to shout out all the competitive players that I played against. Even to this day, seeing active top players is one of my favorite things, because I don't think people will give players enough recognition. It's a lot of effort to be at the top. It's a lot of effort to even like top 100, top 50. It's a lot of effort. And these guys are really talented players. And I think they are the reason why AV2 is alive on a day-to-day basis at this point, right? At least the competitive scene. AV2 will always be alive. It's bigger than all of us. The single player, it's bigger than all of us, right? But the player base, like think about it. If we don't have players, we can't host tournaments. Or like we can, but the level is not going to be the same. The draw is not going to be the same. So the players who play this game at the top level, I really appreciate you guys. When I'm streaming, I want to play some games on the ladder and there's no one there. It's depressing. I have literally quit for months before because I just had no one to play against. So from my perspective, and most recently I quit to play League of Legends, for example. From my perspective, I really appreciate anyone who's like grinding and putting their effort into playing the game at the highest level and showing up day in day out to practice on ranked ladder, maybe create some content, maybe play some show matches, whatever it is. And I think this is probably the only scene where this is true. I literally cannot point to bad blood between players. Like for me, I don't have bad blood with any player basically. Think of anyone in the top 25, top 50 that I interact with regularly. When it comes to watching tournaments, I'm always cheering for like both of them. I like both the guys. I like what they both bring to the table. So although there's rivalry and although there's competition, I have nothing but respect and admiration for all the pro players. Like seriously, all of them played a huge role in keeping the game alive and keeping the game as interesting and as exciting as it is today. And going forward, what I would actually just love is to see more new faces, like more new faces at the top, more new players. I think even with introductions of teams like Fox, new teams into the scene, that is incredible. Like I'm really happy to see new teams thriving and new teams doing well, and new players thriving and new players doing well. And I wish we can support. We are supporting as a community. We are supporting the players, but definitely show them respect at any chance you can because it's hard to play at the top level, and they're doing a great job at it. And obviously, I'm part of that group, right? But it's bigger than just me. It's a lot of people. And for me personally, like because I know how hard it is, I do it myself. I can definitely vouch for all the other guys as well. The players play a huge role in pushing AVT forward, whether they're content creating or not. Another person that's very important is Spirit of the Law. Spirit of the Law played such a huge role in making the game go like super mainstream on YouTube. And not only that, I think to this day, Spirit of the Law has genuinely the best YouTube content out there, period. Like the best YouTube content, quality-wise, and I think that's undeniable. Like, honestly, I have yet to see someone make videos like he does. He has the best videos. He might not stream, or you might not see him as often as other people around, but when you see a Spirit of the Law video, you know it's going to be like an amazing one. You know it's going to be a quality video. And he's kept up that quality and even gotten better over years. And for me personally, just to give you a personal note with Spirit of the Law, I actually watched him when he had like less than 100 subs. And I remember thinking, I was like, yo, these are some entertaining videos. Like, I really like that. Just something about his voice plus personality, plus like the chill vibe of, Age of Empires 2, plus, some math, some things about the game. It just felt, like the perfect match. And I was in and out of the game at that point. So I remember watching a few videos, not thinking much of it. And then later, this guy's just at like 100K, now 370K, something like that. Crazy. This guy really blew up. And like by blowing up himself, obviously, on YouTube, he's also bringing so many eyes into the game. So like we as a community, really, we have to appreciate guys like Spirit of the Law who are growing the community and bringing us excellent content that I, to this day, despite being a pro player, go back and watch. Not go back, but go and watch. Even if the video is not about pro play. Like nowadays, I only watch usually like pro play stuff, with the exception of actually T West as well. So shout out to T West, who I will be doing a collab with soon. He already did his part. I need to just get it all together. But yeah, guys like T West also bringing some really nice things that are not pro play that are still super interesting to watch. Also high quality there. Spirit of the Law, T West, both these guys. Just excellent content, and just thank you for making it because I really enjoy watching it for myself. Oh boy, this video is way longer than I thought, honestly. This is why I said at the start, like I was gonna make this a tweet, like thanking everyone for making Age of Empires 2 the game it is today. But it's too difficult to make just one tweet about it, and even one video is taking way longer. So I shouted out the players, shouted out the content creators and casters, shouted out some prominent YouTube figures, gave you guys some backstories about all of them where it fits. I guess one big thing is little backstory with when I first was getting better at the game. Obviously Viper was the #1 for so long, and I looked up to Viper so much, and I remember I would just be dying to get a game with him, and I would actually lose my first few games against Viper. I'd get one and I'd lose, and I'd still feel so happy just to have played. Like it was, remember I was a young guy, I was just happy to be like there playing, just trying, learning. And I still remember when I got my first win, it was just a Hun War game. It meant nothing. He probably just lost and went on to the next game. But for me, it was like I can't believe it. I was telling my brothers about it. Even though they didn't know anything about the game, I told them like, yo, this guy, he's the Viper, he's like killing everyone, and I beat him today. And they're like, yo, like that's sick, like good job. And I was like, no way, like I couldn't believe it. It was such a small moment for anyone else, but it was such a big moment for me. And I just won't forget that. But yeah, guys like Viper, guys like that, all the players. Again, when I say the players, like any pro, I started out shouting out all the player base of AV2. Then I give a special shout out to all the pro players. I'm not naming all of them by name. There's a lot of pro players. But yeah, guys like Leary, guys like Hart, guys like MBL, guys like Nikov, my AM team. Huge thank you to those guys as well for taking me in when I was actually like a weaker player, helping me out, teaching me how to play. It showed me a lot of cool things that I had no idea of. Like you think I was top player on ladder, top player, and then they still teach me stuff. Imagine how many levels there are to the game. I come in as a top player, I can't win tournaments. They teach me stuff, and I start doing better in tournaments. Start qualifying, losing round one. These kind of things that are, I would say from today, it's probably a bad result, but back then it was an amazing result. Like, thank you, I lost round one. Congratulations to me. Happy to be there. Yeah, big thank you to the AM guys, and a big thank you to all the players. And then in the more recent times, something we didn't mention in the AV2 video, but still I think is worth mentioning, the Red Bull tournaments. I think Red Bull coming into the scene has been one of the best things that's happened to AV2 over, yeah, like maybe even ever, to be honest. And Red Bull gave us some of the finest memories from LAN events. The production value, AV2 in a castle. This is probably like the peak of AV2 to this point. Like the Red Bull tournaments are the peak of AV2. And I just cannot be grateful enough to Red Bull for bringing us that. Seriously, like I actually look back and I was thinking how insane that we got this opportunity. Like seriously, how insane was it that we got this opportunity? I would have never in my wildest dreams thought that we'd play AV2 in a castle and a LAN event in front of thousands of people. Like that is crazy. And the fact that we have a Red Bull coming up right now is even crazier. And I'm so excited for it. And whether I win or lose, honestly, it's completely irrelevant of the Red Bull coming up. I am just grateful to have it there and have another experience at a Red Bull LAN event. Because let me tell you, I told you earlier, NEC is my favorite, but Red Bull's the best. Red Bull production and how they treat the players and how grand everything is and how they put like special events, all of that, it's the best. It's the best. And I can't wait to experience that again. And I'm thankful and grateful to Red Bull for all the work that they've done. And I met some of the guys that work behind the scenes at Red Bull, like the guys leading the AV2 projects. Excellent people, all of them excellent people. We're lucky to have them. Seriously, I know from the outside it looks like a big company and like a huge name Red Bull, but at the end of the day, it's a few people running the AV2 side of things. Excellent people, and we're really lucky to have them. I'm very grateful for them, and I'm, like I said, very happy that we have one more, at least, hopefully more coming. Red Bulls to look forward to, also in a castle. And then I think I'll end here, but I have like one more. I'll end with this last one. The people and the casters and the communities from other languages. I obviously shout out the Chinese community specifically, but it's time to shout out all the secondary, kind of minor but actually big communities from different areas of the world, non-English speaking communities. For example, the South American community, a ton of big creators. Mario, you got Nacho, you got Locoser, you got just to name a few, you got many more, of course. You got so many that are bringing this game and making it popular amongst, people that, might not necessarily speak English or not speak English as a first language. And the reason why this is very personal to me as well is I spent a couple years in Argentina, where a lot of these casters are from and these content creators are from. And what's crazy is I got recognized. You won't believe it. I got recognized on the first day that I got into Argentina. The first day by a fan. I didn't tell anyone. I'm at this hotel. Didn't tell him anywhere where I'm at. And he was in the hotel lobby and he recognized me and asked me for a picture. I was absolutely blown away. Like that was such an epic, one of my best moments all time for AV2, honestly. I never got recognized in Canada. I didn't leave my house much, but I never got recognized. To go into Argentina and get recognized on the first day, insane. Then I got recognized, I kid you not, another 30, maybe even up to 50 times. Not a meetup. Think about how crazy that is. In the streets, in the shopping mall. Ridiculous. And every single time, the people would be so happy to see me, and they'd sometimes even bring me gifts. If they had something on them, they would, you know, send it to me. If it was a planned meetup, they'd give me gifts. Incredibly, like the hospitality and the warmth that I felt from the people in Argentina, unmatched. And it was amazing to feel that and to see that. And a lot of them would give the credit to knowing me through guys like Nacho, Locoser, and Mario Vache. Those like 3 content creators were the names that they brought to the table for the most part. So yeah, big thank you to the content creators and to the fans of, you know, these, you know, non-English speaking communities, because they have a lot of passion. And although they might not be watching my content because I make it in English, for example, they still support me and other players, and they're still a huge part of AV2. And I'll end by saying that AV2, I think what makes it really special is that it's an international community with people from all over the world getting together to bond over AV2. And that's a really special thing that I just don't see in any other gaming space, really. Not that I'm involved to that extent in other gaming spaces, but for how international AV2 is, and just like every side, you know, putting in effort and growing the scene, it's honestly incredible. So yeah, big thank you to everyone who has made content, or anyone who supported content creators from all over the world, and continue to put in to grow the game. It's honestly really, really special. And for me personally, to have met, you know, people from all over the world, got to exchange, you know, ideas, cultures, that kind of stuff. I think that's also a very rich part about the AV2 experience. And yeah, this is basically like a one take. Just really appreciating AV2. Really appreciative of being able to do this, you know, full time now. And I hope I'm playing my role as much as I can, really, to help further the scene as well. I put in a lot of effort over the past few years, and I really want to continue doing that. It brings me a lot of happiness, a lot of satisfaction, and I get a lot of messages like every day, basically, about people who appreciate my stream. Not every day, let's say every week. People who appreciate my stream, are thankful that I'm here, and I just want to let you guys know that I'm thankful you guys are there as well, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. I just hope I'm not forgetting anything or anyone that I want to talk about. Again, this is the problem with doing it one take. It's natural, but you forget. Please, if I forgot, you know, if I forgot to mention something, or if I forgot, you know, about you, don't take it personally, please. I appreciate everyone who played a role in Age of Empires 2. And I just want to end the video by saying that really reflect about how we got here from where we were 10, 15 years ago. And you'll see just how incredible of a story it was. And like, it's honestly insane. And if you're a newer viewer, you know, you came onto the AV2 scene recently, and you don't know much of the history, then check out my history video. It's going to be dropping this Sunday, probably like 16 GMT, the usual time. It's a 2-hour video. Me and Dad put a ton of effort into it. And like, it was so good. Like, it's such a good video. Again, it's weird. I'm talking like it's my video. It's such a good video. I watched it myself start to finish with my editor's like content on it. And my editor just made everything come together like a story. Me and Dowd had like 4 hours of footage. And we were laughing and joking while making it. We're like, our editor, or my editor, is going to just have a nightmare with this. And he probably did, honestly. It took him a while. He probably just didn't even know where to start. It was a huge mess. But he brought it together so nicely to tell this amazing story that is AV2. And it inspired me to do this 34-minute video of me just rambling. Which not a lot of things make me get on a video and just ramble. I think the last time I did this, I was complaining about monks being broken. But this time it's in more positive notes. And yeah, it's just, again, these videos, people usually make them at the end of something. But I think it's better not to wait. I'd rather make this video, get this out there to the people who have put in a lot of effort into the AV2 scene, and to the people supporting, you know, the AV2 scene in any way, shape, or form, watching videos, watching streams, supporting tournaments, anything at all. You know, we appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. And I'm very happy and very thankful to be part of the AV2 community. And I'm also just very happy that this game is thriving, and this game has a bright future, because it is a nostalgic game for me, and it is a game that holds a lot of value. I played it, you know, when I was young with my brothers. You know, there's some really good memories with Age of Empires 2, and I really hope it never dies. I hope we continue pushing. I hope we reach new heights, and I hope to see this game thrive for, you know, as long as possible. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope it was interesting to listen to me today. And see you guys in the next video. See you guys Sunday for the history video. Peace.